Racing takes place at Fairview on the turf track on Friday the 10th of February 2023. 8 races on the program. Looks to be a competitive day's racing, but a meeting where there could be quite a few nice value horses on the day. Chatting to Grant Paddock. Grant, how are you doing? And how's everything going your side? Looking forward to racing on Friday over at Fairview.
Yeah, morning, Rahil. Yeah, thank you very much. It's all good. Weather's a little bit rainy down here, but not that it's going to affect it. It'll just take the sting out the ground, and I think a couple of those horses with the tired legs will enjoy it. It'll be a bit of give in the ground, so I think it'll be good racing on Friday. Absolutely.
Looking forward to a cracking day's meeting on Friday. Now, race number 1, a maiden plate for the fillies and mares over the 1600-meter trip. You need to get those bipod bets on by 12:25, and you've got a bipod lined up for the guys, and you'll take us through that. But in race number 1, Minstrel Gallery, your favorite at 2-1. It's then 3-1 about Ray Flambe. Mercurial Jet 7-2, Dreamstar 6-1, and then it's 12-1 and better about those. Now, I thought Ray Flambe could just be the one to possibly topple the favorite in this lineup here. Minstrel Gallery, I know her from KZN. She's nothing special, but most of these horses are that. And I just get the feel that Ray Flambe, she seems to be getting the hang of racing now. Front running tactics, and Louis Mkotwa could try steal a march on the opposition, trying the turf track for the second time here. Obviously, that previous run on the turf wasn't a good showing, but I think she could be a lot better on the turf track.
Yeah, Rahil, that bad showing, she actually was stubborn, and the jockey lost his iron, so you can put a line through that. Front running tactics, I don't think it's the best thing to do at Fairview with a long straight, especially if the course is a bit sticky. So, interesting kind of a maiden racer. So you could get a result here too. Minstrel Gallery, I've got the saying, if they can run 4 seconds, they can run 5. But she looks like the right horse in the race. This horse, Mercurial Jet, will definitely like to sting out the ground. And I'm expecting White Witch to run a much better race. The work at home has been a hell of a lot better as well. So those 4 horses should get you through the bipod. Minstrel Gallery, Ray Flambe, Mercurial Jet, and White Witch, with a slight preference to Mercurial Jet.
That's numbers 1, 2, 4, and 5 in the opening leg of the bipod for Grant. And he did mention number 5, White Witch. Perhaps some nice value in the race for you to play around those exactors, swingers type of bets at around 12-1 in the market. Now we're going to move along to race number 2, which is the start of the place accumulator over the 1600-meter trip. And this is the maiden plate. Now do take note that jockey Richard Fourie will not be riding on Friday, so there has been replacements for his mounts. Race number 2, number 1, Douglas Devastator. Elder De Meyer now gets a ride on this individual, who's at 8 starts in the maiden ranks. He returns off a rest. He's at 33-10. It's Vuvuzela Umlilo at 4-1. Clap of Thunder, first run over in Fairview at 6-1. Equestrian Affair at 6-1, and then 7-1 and better bar those. Now, I thought Equestrian Affair is a horse that could give a good account of himself, because earlier on in his career, he has run behind the likes of Wiccan Warrior, Laguna Verde, Tattenham Hill. Obviously, his last 2 performances haven't been the greatest of runs, but that's been returning off a rest. First run for Gavin Smith. He's a horse that could enjoy the step up in trip. First run in PE.
Definitely, Rahil. And one thing to note, there's been a bit of early money for him as well. These Kaya Stables also seem to do very, very well first time here. And he's got to be a massive runner. The favourite, Douglas Devastator, has had numerous opportunities to win a race, and he's been disappointing to be at the least. This horse, Clap of Thunder, also done 6 lengths. Otto Lucan, very good run. Solid form in Johannesburg. Got to be a massive runner. Then Vuvuzela Umlilo is trying the Port Elizabeth Grass for the first time. He's drawn out at 30. He's not going to help him. I'll make it between those 4 horses. The bipod, you'll probably be okay if you put Douglas Devastator and Vuvuzela Umlilo, but I do suggest adding in Equestrian if there's any more money for it.
Just want to get your thoughts on number 8, Uncle George. Now, he ran behind Cherry No last time out, who won on debut and looks to be a nice prospect. Now, Uncle George, pole position draw. Julius Impania retains a ride. Could he be another horse to improve over this 1600-meter trip?
Definitely, Rahil. Unfortunately, he's not the brightest of horses. He's got problems at the starting pens, very unruly. He has been scratched at the start on numerous occasions, but if he brings that last race, because I know Cherry No is going to be a very, very decent horse here in Port Elizabeth. If he can repeat that, he's got to have a decent chance as well, but he has to behave himself.
Yeah, most definitely. That's number 8, Uncle George. Equestrian Affair, Clap of Thunder, could be some decent horses at around 6-1 in the market to include into the mix. But race number 2, a race where quite a few horses have a bit of a squeak. Now, race number 3, which is the start of the Pick 6, 1,200 meters the distance. It is a maiden handicap for the fillies and mares. So do take note that we do have horses that are carrying different weights here. It's not just 60 kgs. We can have 60 kgs all the way down to 52 kgs. And when you have a look at the fixed odds betting market, Egret is your favorite at 15-10. It's then 5-1 about Executor. Fly Better is at 11-2. It's 8-1 and better by those. 1,200 meters the distance. Egret coming through with KZN and Cape Form. Looks to be the right horse in the lineup. Louis Mkotua gets a ride for Cliffy Miller.
Yeah, very strong on this horse. You know, this form is way too strong for this field. Merit rating 72, carrying 60. It is giving way to a couple of them, but they're going to have to up their game to get anywhere close to this horse. So make it one of the better bets on the card and very hard to beat. Bipod banker, place accumulator banker. If you're looking to cover up, there's been a little bit of talk for Fly Better. I know Executor has been favourite 3 starts for the 3 starts in PE, maybe back in trip now, back up the straight, getting a bit of weight, but I tell you what, they're going to have to run to beat Egret here.
Yeah, if Egret runs anywhere to that run behind Canadian Summer, she'll win comfortably. She'll absolutely romp home to victory. So Egret, the one to be with in race number 3. 15-10 could certainly be a bet on the head and a horse that you want to start your all-to-comes with on the day. Now, race number 4, quite a big field lineup for this event. We do have 2 reserve runners, that's 19 and 20. Field of 18 here over the 1,200 meter trip up the lane for the fillies and mares. It is a 66 handicap and a race where exotics wise you want to go a bit wider than you normally would. Now, Winter Journey, first run in PE, she's been priced up as your 4-1 favorite. 9-2 about Silvery Blue, who I know there was quite a bit of talk about when she debuted in the province behind Raise the Red Lantern, and she shortened into like 13-2 in the market. Come race time, running 5th, so she's one to keep an eye on. Burning Moon 7-1, 8-1 and better by those. This horse, Madam Vicky, Sharon Kotson now has her. Louis Mkotua gets a ride. She's a horse that I know Alec Laird has quite rated, and she probably hasn't put her best foot forward. She won at the 4th time, beating Smelting, who, if I'm correct, is still in the maidens. Renee Tulip Tree, Second Breath. I think she's a lot better than that form, and she could possibly do well over in PE. 8-1 is the current price. I think I'll be having a bit of 8-1 about Madam Vicky.
Yeah, Rahil, I'm not a big fan of 3-year-old fillies carrying 60 kilograms. She's drawn out at 19, and if we have any more rain or if it carries on as is, the outside draws are slightly worse off than those inside draws, so she might battle from that 19 draw, but the form is there. I'm really strong on this filly, Silvery Blue. She's ran a very good race last time out against the boys. Just needed a run, moved up like she was going to go on by and just needed it. She's come on a hell of a lot at work. Her work has been very good. I make her the biggest threat over here. Winter Journey, I see there's been a bit of early money for her. Rachel takes the 1.5 off, but she's yet to win on the turf. Her best runs seem to be on the poly. But it is a new province, so she's got to be a runner. And then a horse like Burning Moon, Crown Plaza, they all got decent chances. Montresor, it is a wide open race, but I'll narrow it down to the 2, the 5, and the 4 here.
2-5-4 in race number 4 for Grant. And just one more I want to mention. I know that you did say that obviously if there does become more rain, then the outside running is not where you want to be. But stable companion to Silvery Blue, Hilarity, she's a horse that has dropped in the ratings. She's now on a mark of 62. She's taken on far stronger company than what she does meet in this lineup here. Suited to the distance, and no, she is still a one-time winner. But I think with the rating drop, Hilarity could be some decent value at around 20-1 in the market. So numbers 1 and 7, I think some nice value in the race. And Grant mentions numbers 2, 4, and 5 in the start of Jackpot 1. Now we're going to move along to the start of Jackpot 2, which is race number 5. And race number 5, the distance for this is 1,000 meters. It's an MR 74 handicap. It's a D-class event, average rating of a 66, wide open race. They're betting 5-1 the field. That's Narcos at 5-1. Ramar at 11-2. Bethel 7-1 in the market. European Summer 7 Modern Magician at 7, and then it's 10-1 and better by those. Now, Grant, what's your take on race number 5? Last time out, I thought Cruisador would run a much better race than what he did, but Keenan Stein gets a ride. Now, obviously, with Gavin Smith, he's got the likes of Samanga Kumalo, JP Van der Merwe who do duty for him. And Keenan Stein on Cruisador doesn't give me much confidence that they really fancy those horses' chances. But given that he's course and distance suited, I think he could run a better race against a slightly weaker company.
Definitely, Rahil. He's definitely one of the leading lights in the race. That last run, he finished in 22.4. His previous run, 23.4. He seems to be running on he's dropped in the ratings. He's going to definitely be a big runner. Narcos comes out of the same form line, top run last time out. He was finishing handover first. Unfortunately, 62 kilos, and I don't think he's on the right side of the course. So he's also got it to do. I like this horse, Bethel, but there again, the draw might be a concern. He's held his form against weaker, it must be added, but he seems to do his best for Louis. Then you got the horse High Legislation. It was a good run in a plated race last time out. Now back in a handicap, he'll improve. So very, very tricky race. You need to go as wide as possible here, Rahil. 2, 8, 4, 9, and in the pick 6 you need to throw in the 1 and the 3.
2, 8, 4, 9, and Grant mentioned number 1 and 3 to throw into the mix as well. Yeah, certainly a competitive race, and a race where you could just get any type of result. That's race number 5. We'll move along to race number 6. And race number 6 is going to be run over the 1600 meter trip. This is a novice plate. 3 is the time you need to get your bets on. And your favorite is Double Destiny at 7-10 in the market. Hazy Crazy Night at 11-2. It's 7-1 and better by those. Aldo De Meo will now take the ride on Double Destiny, who is the best weighted horse in this novice plate. She's a 3-year-old carrying 60 kgs, but given that she is the best weighted horse in the race, she does certainly look to be the one that all have to beat. Would it be a concern that she hasn't quite found her top form as yet over the distance? Yeah,
but she was running on very strongly last time out, and I think she won't have a problem with, Aldo likes to give them a bit of a chance and run at them. I see the pace being on here. I can see Lady Writer making the pace. She's better over further, but she did win a very good race here first time out. So the only way she can produce another good run is by utilizing her good high cruising speed. So, but Double Destiny is definitely the horse to beat, probably the best bet on the card. Her stable companion with Rachel up getting the 1.5, Hazy Crazy Night, in a very good race against older horses last time out to Sarajevo. And out of that same form line comes Global Goddess. St. Anastasia of the older horses is probably holding the best kind of a form without winning, but now back on the grass. The last time she got beaten ahead when she was on the grass, so she's got to be a runner. But banker in all bets, Double Destiny. If you want to cover in larger perms, the 2 and the 5 should suffice.
Yeah, certainly Double Destiny was flying home at the finish last time out, and Grant mentioned that she's the best bet on the card, so possibly a nice double, Egret and Double Destiny to close off that double. But race number 6, all about number 1 at around 7-10 in the market. Alan Creoff, Aldo De Meo teaming up, and this filly is drawn in gate number 4. Race number 7, it's an MR96 handicap, 1600 meters. Here we get into some of the better quality horses over in PE. And when we have a look at the fixed odds betting market, Saltilus tops that at 16-10, Imshlabeni at 33-10, 4-1 Atkinson, Grimshaw, 5-1 Wings of Fire, and then it's 8-1 and better about those. Now your favorite Saltilus, Aldo De Meo will ride for Alan Creoff. Cracking performances in his last 2 starts, beaten by the same horse in the form of Tarantino. He's drawn in gate 4. Saltilus, certainly a horse that will run very well and should give a very good account of himself. But Imshlabeni, he is in some cracking form at the moment. From his last 10 starts, he's yet to miss the top 3. Duncan McKenzie seems to have him in a good space. He's in a good form, as I mentioned. And Chase Mojan, he gets on once again with him.
Yeah, he's a lovely horse from Shabini. He's really done well since he's joined Duncan's yard. He loves the grass. He's actually better on grass than on the poly, even though he has performed well on the poly. I really like him. I think he'll turn the tables on Saltilus. I make it a boat race between the two of them. Atkinson, Grimshaw can run a drum, but he's under sufferance. But I'm strong on Shabini to beat Saltilus.
Yeah, Imshlabeni, Saltila certainly do look to be the two horses that could possibly fight out the finish. Perhaps a bit of more value with Imshlabeni at around 33 to 10 in the market as opposed to Saltilis at 16 to 10. It's a 5-time winner, 6-time winner taking on one another, and it's going to be interesting to see who comes out trumps. Now, race number 8. 1600 meters the distance. It's an MR 74 handicap. Quite a competitive race to close off proceedings on the day. There's two horses that are picked out in the lineup, both at big prices. Ushuaia from the Alan Creef yard, 16 to 1 in the market, does return off a rest, but is a lot better on the turf track than he has been on the poly track, and I think that's got to be a huge positive in his camp, and he's drawn in gate number 2, so I think he'll run well. And then a horse towards the bottom of the boards by the name of Super Handsome at 33 to 1 in the market. Now, Super Handsome, he's dropped in the ratings, he's come down from 89 down to a 66, so that's 33 points down in the ratings. He's yet to prove himself over in PE, but his last start was a bit promising, 3.5 lengths behind Gold Rock. That was on the turf. He remains on the turf, and I think he's a horse that can improve to run into those quartets in this big field. So 33 to 1 about Super Handsome, Ushuaia at 16 to 1. But Grant, what's your take on the final race on the day to close off proceedings?
Rahil, I'm getting back to Super Handsome. You know, that last run was his best run here, beaten 3.25 lengths in an 8-horse field. It's a now 16-horse field, and he's drawn 16 out of 16. So he's going to have to improve a hell of a lot to be competitive. A lot of talk down here for the 5-horse, Linger Longer. I thought he hit the front a little bit early last time out and just didn't finish it off. I do agree with you, Ushuaia. He probably was going to be better in that 1400 last week where he didn't get in, but I still think he's a decent runner. Irish Rain, that 1.85 to Blonde Act is a superb run. Now, the average merit rating there was 76 in that race, and he's running in a 74 here. He's got Rachel takes the 1.5 off. He's from a very good draw up. He's probably the biggest danger to a Linger Longer. I'm going to go, and then in focus, the 3-year-old. I see he looks like he's improving and wanting this kind of a trip. So he also should be in. Track Commander won a decent race, but this time drawn very, very badly. But I make it between Irish Rain and the Linger Longer. I think those two will fight it out with the addition of the 7 and the 12.
Yeah, 7 and the 12.
And also Ushuaia in the pick 6.
So that's numbers 4, 7, and 12 horses that Grant is going to back up. Numbers 2, Irish Rain, and number 5, A Linger Longer with. And Rachel Vinegar rides Irish Rain. A Linger Longer will be ridden by Aldo Demea and is your current favorite at 4 to 1 in the market. In what looks to be a tricky race to close off proceedings on Friday, to close off the pick 6, and hopefully if you're heading into the last leg running in that pick 6, hopefully you've got a bit of cover. Now we're going to move along to the suggested bet. And Grant will take us through his suggested bet, which is the buy part for the guys out there. So listen up to Grant's buy part. Grant, take it away.
Right, thanks, Rahil. Yeah, suggested bet is the buy pot starting in leg 1, which is a fairly tricky for this race with 1, 2, 4, and 5. By 1 and 3. By Banker 1, Higrit. By 2, 4, 5, 12, and 13. By 2, 3, 4, 8, and 9. And a banker of Double Destiny, the one at the back, for a total of 200 Rand.
That's Grant's buy part, 200 Rand, and his best bet, Double Destiny, value bet, Bethel in race number 5. Grant, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for your assistance as well with racing over at Fairview on Friday. All the best and have a good weekend.
Thank you very much, Rahil. Go well, my man.
Thanks to Grant Paddock for his insight into racing over at Fairview on Friday. All the best, guys, and hopefully you manage to make yourself lots of cash.